Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm back here again with another RTF drone kit. This is the BetaFPV Advanced Whoop Ready to Fly kit. Ready to Fly means it has everything you need to get up and get going. Comes in this really nice kind of fabric-y case with this really high density foam inside of it. Really nice case. In the case you get a nice little charger, two 450 milliamp batteries. You get the BetaFPV LiteRadio 2. This is really nice. You get the goggles. These are the VR01 goggles by BetaFPV. Again, pretty nice. You get two little antennas for the goggles. Extra set of props. A micro USB charging cable, and you get the Meteor 75 Lite. This is a very, very special little quad. Okay, so first off, the case is a case. It's really nice. It fits everything in there that it needs to fit. Have all your instruction cards in there. They're actually not really all that good of instructions, but it's all pretty easy to figure out. Nice, well-cut foam for every bit of the kit. Close it up, grab it, and go. Pretty nice little setup there. So let's move on to the goggles. We'll talk about these. These are the VR01 goggles by BetaFPV. They're pretty nice little budget entry-level goggles. They're obviously not a Fat Shark style goggles. They're, you know, a monitor inside of a box. A pretty large viewport. If you had some people say they can get their glasses in there, some can't. It kind of depends on the size of your face and your glasses style. It does have a very large nose opening, which I really enjoyed. That really made them fit very well for me. They do tend to sit facing down a little bit on your face, so you end up kind of drooping your head a little bit just naturally, which I think is better than them looking up and then your head following. These are a pretty feature-packed set of goggles. On the top here, you can see that there is a SD card port. This does have built-in DVR. It's on par with Fat Shark's. It's not great. It's not terrible. It just works. It's just a nice feature to have. Headphone out if you want to listen to quad audio. If you have a quad that does that, has an inbuilt LiPo. It's a 2,000 milliamp LiPo, and it gives you roughly about 2 hours of runtime, so pretty good. Charges through micro USB. Nothing really, no frills there. One of the things that I do not like about the set of goggles is RPSMA. Like, why are we doing RPSMA on these budget goggles? So you have RPSMA antennas. And the problem with RPSMA antennas is that that's not what most people already have. Like, when you start looking for antennas, you got to be very careful about which ones you buy. So if you want different antennas, you're not going to be able to grab a set of antennas you have laying around because they're probably SMA. RPSMA may actually have more benefits than SMA, but that's a totally different discussion. As far as light leakage goes, I had a little words are tough. I had a little bit of light leakage around the faceplate, and I also noticed some light leakage between the seams of the goggles. Now, it didn't really bother me because the goggles are bright enough that you don't pay attention to it when you're actually flying, but just sitting there with the lights on in a room, not flying, they're pretty noticeable. It does have a band scanner. Don't trust it. It'll get close, but you're not going to find the right channel. They're about 375 grams, so they don't feel all that heavy on the face, especially compared to a lot of other box goggles I've looked at. Another negative is there is no adjustable Fresnel lens. So a lot of the budget goggles will have two little sliders to move this lens in and out to help focus the screen. Again, it is a budget set of goggles that just kind of comes with a kit. They're going to be good for a little while, but this is probably going to be the first thing in this kit that if you've never flown before and you get into this and you like it, this will be the first thing that goes. Not because it's bad, but you're going to want to move on. The other weird thing is the screen ratio. it's a 4.3 inch screen, but the ratio is 800 by 480, which makes it 5 by 3. Now in this hobby, we're looking for 16 by 9 or 4 by 3. So it does look a little weird and stretched, but again, if this is the only thing you have and you don't know any better, then who cares? They're gonna be just fine for you. Pretty decent set of goggles. Would definitely be the first thing you upgrade. Hang on to them for ride-alongs because everybody wants to see what it is you're doing. Oh, and it does have a 3-point head strap, which is pretty nice. I do like that. Okay, so then we got the BetaFPV LiteRadio 2. This is so much better than the original LiteRadio, like so much better. This radio, it runs on the FrSky protocol. It'll do D8 or D16. I did a review on this radio in the past. Link will be right if you want to go look at that. Be it a little more detailed than this. So it runs D8, D16. It's OpenTX compatible. It doesn't have a little screen on it like most OpenTX radios, but you can set up all your modes, and you can set up everything with OpenTX Companion, but it's their own special build. You have to find it on the BetaFPV site. It will work with your computer as a gamepad, so you can fly simulators, which is a huge bonus of this radio compared to some other RTF kits that I've looked at. This does connect your computer. You can do a trainer out. I've never seen anybody do it, so I'm not really too concerned about that. It's a 8-channel radio, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have two position switches here and 2 3-position switches here. Long hold, and there you go. She turns on, long hold, and it turns off. This does come with a 350 milliamp LiPo. It's a 2S. It's a little bit different than the normal retail version of this radio because the normal retail version comes with an XT30 on it, so you could charge this on a normal hobby grade charger. This does charge internally with the USB port, so not a whole lot of reason for that. So this isn't my first rodeo with the LiteRadio 2, and I gotta say that this particular radio, this one here, was very, very bad when I got it. I turned it on and it sounded like someone was rolling a handful of rocks inside of there. Turns out the haptic motor, haptic, whatever that word is, inside wasn't adhered to the inside of the case anymore, was just kind of rolling around in there. This switch here, switch B, is real kind of stiff to actuate. The PCB-based antenna, the ground plane trace was ripped off of it. So this radio was very defective when I got it. This radio, which I bought separately, this thing is awesome. This thing is perfect. This one, not so much. The retailer, I'm sure they're going to take care of me. I've sent an email into them, kind of waiting for a response. But this is a good radio. I have a sample size of 2. One was great, one was crap. So take that for what it's worth. If you get one that has issues, contact the retailer. Let them take care of it. Don't just live with it. You know, nowhere else in the world would you just accept garbage stuff and just kind of complain about it till the end of time. No, you would go and get the manufacturer to be responsible. But in general, I can say this is a good radio. This is a good radio. This one, not so much. Okay, so moving on to the quad itself. So when I said this quad is special, I mean it. This is one of the most unique quads I've ever flown. Yes, it doesn't look very special. It's a 75 millimeter, uses 40 millimeter 3-blade Gen Fem props. They're just a push fit, 1.5 millimeter shaft. This quad's running 1102 18,000 kV motors, 1S only. And the thing that's really special about this is the flight controller. This is running a silverware-based flight controller, which means there's no USB port, there's no BetaFlight config, there is configuration, but it's all OSD based, very much like Falco X, if you know what that is. It's a Flight 1 product. And I have to say, out of the box, this is hands down, far and away, the best flying mini quad I have ever flown. It is so capable. It is so fast. It is so agile. It's so controllable. This is by far my favorite flying ducted whoop I have ever flown. And I think it comes down to that silverware firmware that's on this thing. It is something special. Like I said, there's no USB port, so it's not updatable, but you can update it with a ST linker and a lot of very precision soldering to some pads underneath this. But for being in a basic whoop kit that's RTF, this is a good choice. There's no USB port. There's nothing to screw up. Half of the problems I diagnose with people is, I just bought a new quad. I updated BetaFlight. It doesn't work. Did you ever fly it without updating it? No, I didn't. Well, why? This stuff is not like cell phones and computers. If it works, don't mess with it. Don't update it unless you know what you're doing. It's nice to just have something that you just turn on and fly. The radio was bound to the quad. The goggles, they weren't set up on the same channel, but that's pretty easy to figure out. The VTX in this quad is a hot stinking load of garbage. It is by far the worst part of this entire kit is the VTX. The output of this VTX, it's a 25 milliwatt VTX. The output is far, far below 25 milliwatts. It is by far the weakest VTX I have ever used in my life. Another BetaFPV quad with the same VTX, and I have the same output. The VTX that comes in this is garbage. It's a VTX camera combo. It's not good. I don't like it at all. Probably with this quad, I'm probably going to put a better VTX in there, which I usually scoff at people when they say, oh, I'm going to put a better VTX in my quad, and then I'm going to put crossfire, because it doesn't matter. It's a whoop. It's meant to be indoors, but this thing is, the VTX is so incapable in this thing. I will be putting a better VTX in this because I love how this thing flies. So another issue is the onboard smart audio control through silverware. It uses a very weird channel and band system. It goes through band A, B, C, D, and E, which doesn't make any sense, doesn't align with any other standard. It doesn't match what's in the goggles either. So if this is your first quad and you're trying to find band channel D1, and you're trying to match up something to the goggles, you're not going to find it. You have got to go by the frequency, which then you're going to need a frequency card to read for the goggles to try to match them up. I hate it. I hate that part of this. Basically, I found the equivalent of F4, which is 5800, because that's the only one I can remember off the top of my head, and I just ran with that. That is the only two glaring issues I found with this quad. It's super durable, flies extremely well. You cannot buy this quad built this way. The Meteor 75, different flight controller. The special edition, different flight controller. This one is the only one I've found, at least when I recorded this, that comes with the silverware-based flight controller. So this does use the new BT 2.0 connector. It has been proven to be better in just about every way, other than it's not all that common right now. This kit does come with two of these 450 milliamp batteries. These are pretty good. Mine are they're a little funky. They're not, I don't know. They're not the best. They're a good LiPo, but mine are weird. The charger that comes with it, this is really nice. It's a USB-based charger. This bottom one here will tell you what your current charge state is, and then if you plug this into a USB port, it just starts charging. Red is charging, green is charged, and time to go have fun. One modification I would recommend to this quad is just grab a set of snips, clip this duct or this shell back to about here, kind of route the antenna up and put a little bit of hot glue in there to kind of keep the antenna pointed up. Being flat against the frame like this, it's not optimal. It does help out a little bit, especially with this very marginal VTX. The camera, no complaints there. It's really nice. It's a 4.3 camera, but you're looking at it through a 5.3 set of goggles, so it does look a little weird. But then again, like I said, if you don't know any better, then it doesn't matter. So overall, what are my thoughts on this kit? Well, it's a real mixed bag, because I've been flying it as you see it, and there's nothing really wrong with it. Everything works. It's a little finicky trying to match the VTX channel with the goggles. We talked about the little issues with the radio, but none of that kept it from actually working. For the price point that I bought it, it's $200. Remember that, it's 200 bucks. You're getting a lot for $200. If you could buy just this quad alone with the silverware based flight controller, this controller, this quad, find a different set of goggles, maybe some cheap secondhand Fat Sharks, like maybe some HD3s or something like that. I would say that'd be the way to go. But if you've never been into this hobby, you want to dip your toe in, there's a lot of RTF kits out there. There's this one. There's the Eachine Novice 3, which I looked at a couple weeks ago, right there. Look, watch that. The Novice 3, Novice 2. There's a beginner quad kit, which is a smaller Meteor 65 quad. There's the Tiny Hawk RTF kit, which is really nice. It's definitely a better set of goggles. Oh, by the way, this is just antenna diversity. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. Doesn't have as good a controller, has better goggles, but again, the goggles are the first thing you're going to end up replacing anyways. This is going to be a longer lasting controller. This quad is really good. Tiny Hawk 2 is a really good quad. This is definitely a better acro quad versus racing. Like, it's a mixed bag no matter what you do. Nobody makes a bad product. They just make different products. For 200 bucks, you're getting a lot here. You're getting an awful lot. And it's nice to just grab it, go, and it works. And you have customer service support when you buy it from companies like Race Day Quads or Pyrodrone or BetaFPV. And the whole point of this is to get you into the hobby and get you up and flying with minimal headache, which no BetaFlight, that is a beginner plus in my book for sure. This is a fast quad, and if you've never flown one of these quads, then something to keep in mind is your forward speed is based off of your camera angle. These BetaFPV quads, you can't adjust the camera angle. It is fixed at this 25-30 degree angle. So on some of the other kits, you can adjust your camera angle down to almost flat, where you can kind of get the feel for how it flies. This is gonna want to haul butt if you try to keep the picture centered, because that's how you change your forward speed. But the auto level modes are really good in it. The acro mode is even better. It does have turtle mode where you can flip it over if you're on a decent surface. It doesn't seem to turtle mode very well on tile, but it does work, but not great. Overall, this is a great kit. I recommend it if you're trying to get into the hobby. You won't be disappointed. Hopefully your radio is a little bit better condition than mine. Again, review size of 1 and kind of a half. But yeah, go for it. If you're trying to get in this hobby, go for it. And if you do like it, this is all stuff that you can pass to somebody else, have for spares, or just sell on the side, make some money back. I mean, you have more than $200 worth of stuff here, that's for sure. All right, folks, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking this out. This was purchased with my own money because I think it's a great product. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. This stuff takes a lot of work to do. It takes a lot of time to produce these videos. Yeah, obviously, it's using my own money. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking us out. And if you like what I'm doing, please check out the links in the video description. If you're interested in some of this your grip tape for your LiteRadio 2 or any other radio that you have, again, check out the links in the video description. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking us out. And I will see you all next time. Stay safe.